Interesting topic lined up for everyone. It's to do with the evolving creator ecosystem in India. Now, on one hand, we have an entrepreneurial CEO who's been on both sides of the working gamut with both sides, when I say consumer services as well as that of technology. We have with us none other than Mr. Manish Chopra, Director and Head of Partnership, Meta, who will be sharing his insights. And it's only befitting that to drive this conversation, if the topic says creator ecosystem, we actually have with us a very renowned digital creator, a content creator, a smile enhancer, however you'd like to put it, because every time she has something to share, it's not just content, it's actually being the voice of that content, voice of the industry as well. So we have with us none other than Sukriti, who will be moderating this very interesting session for us, which is going to take exactly a couple of seconds to set the stage so that we can invite both of our speakers right here on the dais. Looks like we are set. Superb. Then, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause, and please help me welcome Mr. Manish Chopra and Sukriti as they deep dive into the evolving creator ecosystem in India. Can we have a louder round of applause? Because I know we all love creators, and we are all part of creator ecosystem, and we want to somewhere gather all that's happening around it. So thank you so much for joining us. And Sukriti, over to you.
Thank you so much. It is a delight to be here, and thank you for staying till the last session. I can still see quite a big crowd here. My name is Manish Chopra. I've been with Meta for the last 4 years. I lead partnerships at Meta, which involves working across the various parts of our business, our various products, so Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. And I also work with our key partner groups that are there, be it our large telco partners, our commerce and business messaging partners, our content organizations that we work closely with, and creator partners. So very, very happy to go into a little bit of soul searching around the creator ecosystem. And we thought it'll be awesome, right, to talk about this with a creator here joining the discussion. So Sukriti, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and to you also for the great introduction. Thank you so much. थोड़ी ज़्यादा ही तारीफ हो गई, I think. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. I'm super excited to be a part of this conference and a part of this session, especially with Sir. I think I will take back a lot of insights home from you today. But all right, so just introducing myself. My name is Sukriti. I am a content creator. I create content on Instagram, on Facebook, and a lot of other platforms. And I go by the handle Hi Sukriti. And I'm just happy to be here today. So I think we'll just take the conversation forward, right?
Absolutely. No, I got to mention this. The latest film that released last Friday, Shehzade. Sukriti's got a cameo role in it, so she's also on film.
Thank you. I was trying to not mention that because I was like, I've already hyped it too much. But guys, please go watch my film. I've got a small part to play there, but I'm super excited. And, I think honestly, all of us here today in this room, I think we've all come to a point where we've realized that creators, including me, we've sort of influenced your lives in some way or the other, like probably the next outfit I want to buy, I would go to a fashion influencer's page, or if a holiday destination that I want to do, I would probably check out a travel influencer or a travel creator. A budgeted one will be different, a luxury one would be different. So I think we all agree to that, right? The creators have influenced us in some way. Do you guys agree to that? Yeah, thank you. That's some validation. But especially in the last year, Manish, I've seen how creators have sort of gone to the next level, especially the post-pandemic phase, the 2022 year, the year gone by. And in fact, I saw a lot of creators, everywhere. They were on hoardings, they were on digital ads, they were on TVCs, they were a part of magazine covers. So we were basically all over. So what were you seeing? What are you seeing in this space? What are the top line trends?
No, absolutely. I think what I see is a massive upswell, especially in the last 2 years. I look at this as 3 big things that are happening. The first thing is this creator economy is here for real. A recent, in January, a research put out said that there are 100 million creators in India. 100 million people who are creating content. This is phenomenal. Even for our company, between Facebook and Instagram, we have a very, very large percentage of the global creators coming from India. So that's fabulous as such. The second key aspect, right, is that if you look at how brands are going out there and convincing people to be able to have an authentic relationship with their brand, creators play a critical role there. So that's a second big shift that's happened. Well, big influencers, big TV stars, big cricketers in Bollywood, they're there. But creators now rank in the same strata or the same stratospheric level as such. And lastly, which is also very interesting, is that creators themselves are becoming brands. They are setting up influential businesses. It's just a trend that's starting now. Creator like Faizu, who's one of our largest creators on our platform, he has a Dio brand, and that's doing well. Creators like Vishnu Kaushal, who's an upcoming creator from Chandigarh, has created a merchandising label. So small initiatives like this really help them create a complete new set of opportunities for themselves. So I'm super excited.
So am I, and that is actually very interesting and something that all creators can sort of aspire to be. But I also want to ask you, do you think creators have this direction or this vision already in front of them? And do you think becoming a creator is now sort of a legit aspiration that people have, and there's a growth path in it or not?
Absolutely. Do you, quick audience poll, how many of you have seen a product on Instagram or Facebook and actually got influenced enough to buy it? The poll, and this is an ASCII poll, right? ASCII poll said 90% of the respondents were influenced by a product and they bought it. Now, how does this really translate? Why is this becoming legit? It's becoming legit or legal or acceptable, whichever way you want to look at it, from multiple paradigms, right? First of all, there was and there is in many, many strata across India's society a whole endeavor saying, Mera bacha, meri bachi, kuch ban le. Seekh le, pad le, kuch ban le. Here is a completely new paradigm that's developed. And that is something that all these young people, and again, I call all creators young, and we have many 70, 80-year-old creators also. They are all young at heart because they are actually going after it and doing things with their passion. So that, I think, is fundamentally something that's blowing people's mind. They help create opportunities for themselves, like I explained. Lots and lots of brands are being created, are using creators to be able to build authentic connections, and they share money, right? And that's what our platform is all about. Be able to create a career for yourself. The other thing that's happening, right, is find recognition and glory globally. An example here, in a small town, right, Sarabjit Sarkar, right, and you probably haven't heard this name. He's a creator, and in his small village in West Bengal, he started to create using whatever materials he had left over. He started to copy and create fashion clothes and wonderful creations. And that grew his population. He's got more than 1 lakh followers. And the kind of nuances that he did on, with those materials, including using, leaves, beetle leaves, skirts, and he created these, these like kind of apparel, which was actually getting a lot of views. Sandeep Khosla, Abu Jani invited him to walk the ramp on their show, and he got popular simply because of just the uniqueness of that creation. This is the way we find lots and lots of such examples of how people are being able to create new professions. All this would not be possible if they were not earning money and making, livelihood happen. That is what has happened in this creator economy.
Great, absolutely. I remember Abu Jani Sandeep Khosla and he walking the ramp for them. So that's a great for creators. Actually, I think that's
But
amazing.
Sukriti, you've been a creator.
Yeah.
And what do you think, right? How do you think it's changed your life and the people around you, right? What do you feel, in terms of where it has reached, right? And how is this space evolving? From an ecosystem perspective, what are you seeing?
No, of course I see a change, definitely. I think people have now started taking the profession, actually acknowledging it as a profession now. पहले तो होता था कि बस ये video बनाती है और like it's like a side thing that she does. She just opens the camera and makes videos. But I think now people have really started understanding that there's a lot of mehnat that goes behind making that one video. I think especially after the lockdown, Manish, because during the lockdown, I think a lot of people tried to make videos. They made an attempt कि चलो हम भी try करते हैं. A lot of chefs came out during that time. I remember a lot of beauty bloggers came out, and that's when they realized that it is a job and it is not just opening the camera and like just shooting a video. So now in fact when people look at me making reels or videos, they're like, oh okay, there's too much mehnat, we know the mehnat behind it. So now they've started acknowledging, which is a good thing. And now people also don't ask me, is this a full-time thing that you do? Otherwise they used to always ask me, is this a full-time thing you do? I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm a full-time creator. So of course that's changed and it's changed for the good. I think my parents have also now, पहले उनको समझ ही नहीं आता था कि मेरी बेटी क्या करती है, तो वो बता ही नहीं पाते थे. But now they're like, okay, she's a creator, she creates videos, and people understand. The follow-up question is not, okay, उसके अलावा क्या करती है. But so that's of course changed. And honestly also I want to, because you mentioned about the ecosystem, I also want to talk about that. So a lot of people, a lot of audience just sees that one video, sees the creator and feels ki this is it, okay, the creator is making a video and he or she is the face of it, so this is it. But we don't understand the ecosystem behind it, like there is so much that goes into that one video. There's probably a script writer who's writing your script. There's somebody who's coming up with a concept. There's somebody who's giving you a shoot location if you want to shoot in a gym or if you want to shoot in a park. Even if you want to shoot in a public place, you have to get permissions for that. So a lot of things, there's makeup, there's hair, there's shoot, there's so much that goes behind making that one video or that one reel. And I think the ecosystem is shaping up beautifully. I think people are really sort of invested in it now and they're sort of understanding it nicely. Like I'll personally give an example that whenever I make videos, I'm like, my mom shoots my videos, so she's like a part-time camera person for me, So I wait for Acha, she'll come back from work and then she'll shoot my videos. So there is a lot of people behind the scenes also. And I also love how you talked about the smaller cities, I also want to focus on that, and I also want to focus on the ecosystem that they are sort of creating. So do you think that's on the rise, and do you think, how's that shaping up? I mean, I want to ask this scenario of the smaller cities.
So let me give you an example with a few data points here, right? We find small cities, and creators in small cities really, really flowering, right? And I'll talk about a few examples there. But before that, to grab your attention, because a lot of you are from corporate backgrounds also and startup backgrounds. On Facebook, more than 50% of the businesses, right, that are followed, those businesses are followed by users in small towns, okay? On Instagram, more than 40%, okay, of those profiles are being followed by users in small towns. That is where the audience is coming up, and that's where it's developing. There was a time, right, where all these were phenomena which were more linked with metros. No longer. Take an example of, and you see trends pick up that way. Even an example, and I'll give you an example from, Bollywood as such, right? Nowadays, a lot of trends, right, get picked up. And there is, creation that is happening all across the country. There's one of our creators, Dipender, right? He's basically, he's really in a small town village, right? And he created a small trend. Now that was a trend based on, an old movie by Tiger Shroff, right? And that trend took off. It did very well. But and this was Choti Bachchi Ho Kya, he started that trend. A small town, very small unknown creator, but that trend took off. To promote his new movie, Heropanti 2, which came, Tiger Shroff did a collaboration with Dipinder, right, and took this and made it into a national trend, which thousands and thousands of other creators came on. 20 million reels, 20 million views on that reel happened, right? Which it shows the power of how the reach across India has happened. And that's where a lot of this is coming together and flowering. Lots of such examples are happening, especially with the small towns. So business is happening there. Creators are coming from all these places. And we are doing a lot, right, to be able to enable that access and that reach. I think that's what this platform is all about, right? And that's what the change that Digital India is seeing is manifesting itself.
Absolutely. Even I hopped onto the Choti Bachchi Ho Kya trend. That was,
Did you make? Did you?
I did. In fact, I made 2 reels on Choti Bachchi Ho Kya. In fact, a lot of people, including me, I hadn't watched Heropanti 1. And only because of this dialogue, I went and watched the film. I'm like, aata kahan hai dialogue? Let me go and see. But of course, we're seeing how the creator ecosystem is shaping up, and it's great. But I also want to talk about the challenges that are faced by creators. Of course, I know that there are certain challenges that I face. Ki, acha, how to stay relevant, how to stay funny, if I'm not feeling funny today, how to make a funny content. But what do you think? What do you think the challenges the creators are facing and the ecosystem? What is the challenges?
Yeah, I think this ecosystem faces a couple of challenges, right? It does face the challenge because it's so dependent on individuals. And individuals, especially from a creator perspective, it's all about whether their content will work. And as you said, you wait for your mom to come back and help you make that video. Everybody is in that environment, right, where they are looking at how they can break through and get ideas. I think that's a very clear, valid challenge that's there. We, as a platform, and we've got programs that help enable some of that. The second thing in terms of challenge, right, is being able to get hooked up with brands, right? Get hooked up with people who would help them monetize all the effort that they're going and doing. And last but not the least, right, is the challenge that they face in a country like India. Opinions could face a challenge where, safety could be a challenge, right? And then they need help and they need tools to help manage themselves, right? Both mentally as well as on the platform, right? So these are real challenges. Our endeavor is to be able to focus on making it, worth their while and helping them.
Right. But can you also elaborate? Can you give me an example of how Meta's, investing in this ecosystem?
So a couple of things here, right? And you just take we do things which are within the product. Recently we launched something called broadcast channels. Yeah. And broadcast channels, right, is a way because creators get a lot of incoming messages, right? Again, I'm just going to throw a number here because it's a very impressive number, right? Reels that are created today, 1 billion reels, 1 billion reels get shared every single day through DMs, through direct messages, the one-on-one messaging system that we have within Instagram. That is a lot, right? Now, what that also creates is opinions, right? Creators get a lot of feedback asking them about their thoughts, sharing ideas. So we created broadcast channels that helps them, put out, literally broadcast their thoughts in a concise way to their core followers. So that's one product-related thing that we did. Another one is, and we spoke about, smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 towns, right? We launched about 2 years back a program called Born on Instagram. Right. And Born on Instagram is today 65% of the people who have come and got certified on Born on Instagram, they are from tier 2, tier 3 towns. More than 2.3 lakh, 230,000 people have been certified on Born on Instagram, right? And this is a course about mentoring them, about telling them how to create content, and it's also connecting them with brands. And so this is another way we help them, in a way we invest back in the ecosystem so that they can create their own livelihoods, but also great content.
Right. People ask me, where were you born? I say, on Instagram. So, which is true. I think that was my second life.
Absolutely. That was one of the reasons why we chose that name, right? Because
Yeah.
we thought it will resonate with a lot of young people who were wanting to find another new avenue, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Talking about brands, I think.
No, actually, I have a question for you on brands, right? Tell me, I spoke a lot about how brands work with creators. You as a creator, and there are lots of people here who will represent brands, maybe not today, but your future collaborators. What do you think brands can do better?
Ooh.
From your perspective, right? And even for large evolved brands or even brands that are contemplating, right, using influencers and creators to have large scale impact. And then I'll add on a few thoughts.
I think give us money. The most good monies. No, but on a serious note, I think from whatever brands I've worked with, and I have worked with a couple of them, and they've always been very nice and supportive. But there are certain brands that I feel who, really get into the creative process of the video or the creation, which sometimes, I don't know, it just becomes like a dedicated video. So sometimes I feel that I lose out on my creative freedom, and they're not giving me that liberty to make content how I want to, because they're basically looking for an integration, and what I'm giving them is a dedicated video, which is not something that I'm okay with. So sometimes we have that fight, and I'm like, this is coming out to be a dedicated video, can we just reduce? So they would get into the scripting stage, they would get into the concept stage, which sometimes I think loses the authenticity of the creator. I think the creators then just perceive to be promoting anything, which I think sometimes the brand should give that creative liberty to the creators. And because I think the creators know their audiences the best, and what will work and what will not work on their particular page. So I think that way the brand should be a little more open about that, is what I feel. Also, I feel sometimes the brands should actually make little data-backed decision. Because thanks to Meta and thanks to the insights that we get on Instagram, we have all the insights. You literally go to your page and you go to your insights and you find what gender is following you more, which city people are following you more, what is the age bracket that's following you more. And if the brands sort of invest you looking at that data, I think they'll get a better ROI. So, like I am a female creator and I mostly have female audiences on my page. So when a brand which is very female-centric sort of comes to my page, they just tend to get more views on that, or probably, I don't know, better returns on that. But sometimes the brands, I remember this happened with one of my friends because she's also a female creator. So the brand thought, ki chalo theek hai, female creator hai, to female audience hi hogi iski. But actually she had more male audience. So the product integration didn't work out. So I think all these insights, when they're very easily available, I think the brand should also sort of use them. So this is something
absolutely. And I'll give you a few examples. We've recently seen, when brands integrate with creators, the impact can be multiplied many fold. I'll give you an example of Royal Enfield, a motorcycle brand wanting to launch their new range of motorcycles, but didn't want to just put it out as an ad film. An ad film was there. What they did is they worked with creators there were 26 creators from Northeast, and they just created incredible videos of their life, right, on Royal Enfield motorcycles across the beautiful region, different cities, different parts of Northeast. Fabulous campaign that gave incredible value to the brand, and they did not have to script or put it out like a infomercial as such. I think that's the impact that can come in when you get authentic voice, which is what creators represent, right? Many creators, and you can choose, because as I said, there are millions of creators. You can choose those creators that can help you get that effect. So So I think that's really what is different, and that's what I feel is the next avatar of this creator economy, right? Where businesses and creators are together being able to reach out to audiences. There's a lot of fun content that is out there, right? Entertainment is the single most important reason why short form video does so well. But there's a lot more than that. Education is picking up, food and information in multiple ways is picking up, and then you have this entire new phenomena that we've seen, that people are using um, in reels and Facebook and Instagram as a method to actually find credible voices, right?
Absolutely. Talking about credibility, actually, I also want to mention one thing about brands. I think also brands should, I don't know, probably just have more responsible handling of issues. I'll give you an example. There was this one brand, and there are only a couple of brands that I've said no to working with, but there was this one that I remember. It was about some sort of sugar. I think they were promoting some natural sugar or something. And they asked, their campaign their campaign asked me to do a string test. Now, what is a string test? Basically, it's like a jute sort of a string, and they ask you to sort of tie it around your waist. And the whole campaign was you tie it around your waist, and you say, oh, abhi itna ho raha hai, par maine 4 hafte ye sugar pi, khai, aur ab itna band ho raha hai. And I was like, I will not do this. This is purely body shaming, right? I will not do it. So they came back and they said that, okay, you don't do it, but you ask your followers to do it. I said, that's even worse. Ki main to nahi kar rahi, bhai, you guys do it. Huh? So I said no to that. So I think from that example, I just feel that brands should also have a deeper understanding of culture maybe, and like probably more nuanced handling of issues, like so that they don't get into. Also, I feel that's where, Manish, honestly, a creator differs from an influencer, because how are you influencing people? Are you that's quite responsible term, I feel. So I think the brand should also be a little careful about that, to be honest.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys have noted some of the feedback as you think of your campaigns.
Yeah, but please also give me like more campaigns in the future. So, but all right, just I think we're also running short on time. But this was about 2022. I think it was a great year for creators. We were all over the place. But what is your view on the coming year, on 2023? Can you share any sort of trends?
So I am actually seeing some very exciting trends on the horizon, right? First up, as you saw in 2022, a lot of new content heroes, right, or creator heroes came. I think that is going to continue. It's going to be something that we'll see a lot more of. Let me give you an example. People have started now, forming some habits around viewing content on short form video, content on reels, right? Be it on Facebook or on Instagram reels. We're seeing a new trend, right? We're seeing a trend of creators using episodic content, right? And making an interesting connection with their followers. If you can think of it, right? Multiple, a series being put out. There's one example that, there's this bunch of creators called the Orange Juice Gang, right? I don't know if you've ever followed them. Neil, they've created a spin-off which they call KID. So Kalwa Investigation Department or something like that, which is a spin-off on CID, the TV show. And they've created this incredible, series as such. So I see content becoming different kind of content, right? Where people are actually, using the entertainment factor in a big way. The second key thing I see happening in a much bigger way is music. Last year, we saw the emergence of original music on Instagram and Facebook, right? On Instagram, we launched something called 1 minute music. So within 1 minute, specifically shot in that vertical format, completely original songs. And practically all the big, music artists came on board and they started creating these songs.
Yeah, I remember.
I feel that that's a trend that's going to become even bigger and bigger. That did so well that all the big studios, be it YRF and all the big TV and movie studios, music studios, they started to create content and put it out that way. So I think music, another big trend.
And just adding to that, I think a lot of individual musicians also got that opportunity to showcase their music.
Absolutely,
I think that was
absolutely.
great.
And so, in a way, it leads to discovery of music. See, music in India has been controlled for a long time through the distribution methods, right, which were traditionally there. And this has just opened up an incredible new way of music being discovered. The last one I feel honestly is sports, right? And this is a big year of sports. We just finished the the women's under-19 World Cup, which India won. We're in the middle of the women's, World Cup in South Africa, which is going on. IPL is coming, and then towards the end of the year, there will be the big ODI World Cup in India. So cricket honestly does incredibly well on these platforms. What we did is go out there and create opportunities for creators to partner with all this content and put out remix reels and fantastic takes, right, on what's happening there. So I think that is going to be another area that will continue and grow tremendously. And then for sure, this is the year that brands have started to discover reels in a big way. And so they are now creating reels first advertising out there. So it's not that, they shot an ad which is, shot in landscape, so it occupies only 1/3 of the screen, and they just put it out on social media. Now they're shooting very clearly interesting content, right, and putting it out there because that can help them land some exciting stuff that's happening there. You've seen one of the things that I want to mention, right? Much before the movie came, right? One song, and that too, I think about 15 seconds of the Kesaria song was released. That created a massive, massive hype for the movie. That's a way that people are going to use content. So I feel 23, lots more exciting stuff to come. Creator economy is here to stay and go even deeper into India.
Absolutely. And just adding to that, I think also a lot of movie promotions now happen via creators. I think that was a big shift I felt, imagine an Ajay Devgan or a John Abraham talking to a creator and saying, "Acha, kya content banana hai aapke saath?" And honestly, it was very weird for me to read out a script to Ajay Devgan saying, "Acha, aapko ye karna hai, ab aapko ye bolna hai, ab aapko ye bolna hai." But for them to be investing so much time in a reel, I think that says so much about the creator economy. I think that's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sukriti. Thank you for
Thank you
joining
so
me.
much. I think
Thank you, guys.
should just keep creating reels. Guys, keep creating. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your
Thank you
time,
so much.
sir.
Thank
it
you.
was amazing.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Sukriti. If I could just request both of you to step forward, we'll just have a quick photo op.